Liebe Freunde, herzlich willkommen zurück hier bei Little Orpheus. So, nach Lemuria und weiter. Das sehen wir jetzt in diesem Video. Auf geht's. Erstmal gucken, wie wir mit dem Torpedo entkommen können.
I was alive, General. Somehow, miraculously, I was alive. Some twist of fate, some hand of destiny, but I was alive. Strange as this new world was, I knew Toll must have come this way, and it was my task to find him. And it happened like this.
So, weg damit. Und also in der Wüste. Ich glaube, dieser...
The sun beat
Effekt.
down on me relentlessly. The
ist aber auch weg.
heat was unbearable. I was exhausted.
Nee, hier kommt er wieder.
Yet I could not stop. I had to go on. For 7 weeks I trudged across the desert. On the second day...
Please, comrade, if we may. I think we can skip the details, unless you consider them to be particularly relevant to the location of Little Orpheus.
Of course, General. We will simply omit the tale of the singing chasm, the oasis of mirrors, the sightings of Toll's Mienk aloft on their pterodactyls carrying parts of my crashed rocket drill over the horizon to Lemuria.
Wait, the what?
Singing chasm?
Not that, but the rocket drill.
Oh yes, General, the rocket drill. But what did Toll want with it? And why Lemuria?
Lemuria?
Lemuria, General.
I am not familiar with this Lemuria, comrade.
Well, that is because it does not exist, General. Or at least, so I thought.
Übrigens sehr toll, wie sie jetzt die Zeit beschleunigt haben, da mit den Sonnenauf- und Abgängen. Tolles Stilmittel gewesen. So, was könnte uns in der Wüste hier für Gefahren begegnen? Vielleicht ein riesiger Sandwurm? Aber wir haben diese Kristalle, die der eine bestimmt benutzt, um die Menge zu versklaven. Magische Glocken als Türöffner. Und nochmal das Ganze.
Those strange crystals seem to exert an extraordinary hold over the stone blocks and arches. When they hummed, the whole city remade itself. Where they were missing, clearly looted by some villainous thief, the city was fallen to ruin. It was like a vast musical instrument, vandalized and yet still attempting to toot.
Ja, da hat er bestimmt die Bombe hingetragen. Die hat auch dieser Vogel mitgenommen. Hat er den Vogel jetzt immer noch? Er hat die jetzt hier hingetragen.
How poetic. I'm sure our engineers would be fascinated and baffled in equal measure. If the whole department hadn't been arrested for sedition last week, I would happily convey it to their skeptical ears.
Sedition? Really?
How
Bin ich gerade
poetic.
erschlagen worden.
I'm sure our engineers would be fascinated and baffled in equal measure. If the whole department hadn't been arrested for sedition last week, I would happily convey it to their skeptical ears.
Sedition?
How poetic.
Moment mal.
I'm sure our engineers would be fascinated and baffled in equal measure. If the whole department hadn't been arrested for sedition last week, I would happily convey it to their skeptical ears.
Sedition, General? Really? That is unfortunate news indeed.
I am joking, comrade.
Ah, okay. Zeit. Da hinten ist auf jeden Fall der Vogel. Der ja damals in dem einen Level die Atombombe mitgenommen hat. Ist der hier mein Gegner? Da haben wir noch einen Schalter. Ich glaube, ich höre da hinten auch wieder so einen Menk. Man macht doch alles Schalter immer kaputt. Schnell da vorbei.
Oh yes, the Menk for here, all right. Which meant whatever dastardly scheme Toll had, it was to be enacted on these burning sands.
And you will explain this in due course, I imagine.
Eminently, General. What you need to know first is this. I have told you already how parts of the devices the enslaved Menk were forced to wear came from the surface.
Radio parts and so on, yes, from what you have told me. Assuming there were plenty of lost ships in the ocean as you claim, for Toll to have dredged up what he needed to assemble them.
Aha, good. You are one step ahead of me, General.
I said assuming.
Of course, assuming.
So, ja, also die U-Boot und Schiffe genommen, um da Sachen rauszubasteln.
Awe at the buildings rising and falling around me. I realized that the other major component of those mind-controlling helmets was crystal. Toll had raided Lemuria for them. He knew the city. He knew the crystals could amplify vibrations and waves.
Ich warte lieber einmal
and
kurz
was using them to boost the signal of the radio parts to exert his control over the Menk. Which meant...
Vielleicht will er ja nicht nur die Menk kontrollieren, sondern die ganze Welt. Wenn das so extrem verstärken kann, kann das... Sie haben ja gesagt, die Radiowellen können... Das Funkgerät kann durch kilometerdickes Gestein durch. Und dann kann er vielleicht die Menschen an der Oberfläche damit kontrollieren. Oder zumindest wäre das vielleicht sein Plan.
Yes? Imagine, what such amplification could achieve when fused to the finest atomic science our great Soviet civilization has produced.
Wait, I do not understand. You said Toll was planning on using the bomb to shatter the Earth's crust to return to the surface.
A tragic mistake, General. He had not recognized the extent of his mad ambitions.
You mean to imply Toll would have attempted to enslave the Russian people? Pah! The will of the Soviet citizen is mighty and strong.
To you, perhaps, as a trained warrior. But consider, perhaps instead, a humble son of a toy maker from Tomsk.
Ah, yes. Perhaps we have our share of simpletons, after all.
So, abwarten. Ah, nein. Zu lange gezögert. Ich hätte noch einen weitergehen können. Und da den Schalter benutzen. Den ganzen Weg zurück. Und nochmal. Oh.
The vast pictograms told of a history of wonders. They seem to suggest the Lemurians were travelers from another world, where a mysterious clock seemed to stand.
That is very mysterious. As mysterious as the location of Little Orpheus, perhaps.
Ah, yes, of course, General. I am just getting to that.
Wir haben da oben, also links, habe ich eine Maus hier? Dinosaurier. Dann haben wir diesen Vogel, dann geht's weiter. Das könnte ein Meer. Eis haben wir auf jeden Fall hier. Oben. Dann haben wir da den Wal abgebildet. Da der Wal, das Eis. Ja, unter Wasser ist das wahrscheinlich das andere. Vielleicht müssen wir das vielleicht mal irgendwie ordnen oder so. Schien seine Geschichte gewesen zu sein. Okay, der bleibt so stehen. Ich muss wahrscheinlich von oben gehen. Sieht er mich da hinten? Nee, ne? Oh oh. Na. So, jetzt mal, wenn es so oben ist. Gerade so geklappt. Ich muss wahrscheinlich auf den drauf. Ja. Können wir mal durchrutschen?
As I bravely explored that ancient city, a question was gnawing at my mind. What did it mean that the Lemurians had foreseen the coming of Tol? And who was the man from above that was celebrated as the savior of the Mength? It was almost as if they could read the future in their crystals.
Wahrscheinlich bin das ich. Also er.
The bells of Lemuria tolled and tolled, a roaring symphony, a crescendo of peals that set the city dancing, each note causing the crystals to shimmer and cascade with light. But the sandstorm was no natural phenomenon, and the bells did not ring for celebration. Something was very wrong here.
Aside from the pterodactyls and the Mength and the dancing stones and the ancient magical prophecies and the crystals and now the giant bells, you mean?
If you don't want to continue, I can easily just quietly go home.
Don't think Chepucho will get you out of this one, comrade.
Noch einer. Und da kommt wieder einer. Das ist jetzt das Gegenstück zur Jagdszene aus anderen Levels. Halt. Okay, von Hügel zu Hügel muss ich. Halt, nochmal. Ich habe eben gedacht, ich könnte den einen Hügel vielleicht noch reichen. Es war ja auch ganz knapp. Schnell weg.
I raced through those magical structures, a righteous fire in my heart. I was like Dobrynya Nikitsch, prepared to strike at the dragon who threatened my homeland.
Your heroism is only surpassed by your modesty.
On the contrary, General, I chose Dobrynya carefully. Like him, I am a simple peasant. It was fate that chose me to descend to the Earth's core.
It was General Komanin who chose you to descend to the Earth's core. But don't let that get in the way of your story.
Oh, well then, award General Polkovnik Kamanin the highest medal in the world.
He already has several of those.
I cannot take credit for his wisdom in sending me.
Und nächster Absatz. Hier kommt bestimmt wieder gleich. Und die nächsten. Bin gespannt, wenn wir gleich mal jemand zur Bombe kommen. So, da sind wir. Oder den Bohrer wie aufgebaut.
Built to burrow into the earth, was now a mighty vessel, repurposed to blast off into the skies.
Er hat eine Rakete gebaut.
There was no doubt the toll was headed for the strange world with its clock, although to what end I was yet to understand. But there was no time to consider, no time for questions.
Und hopp. Und runterrutschen. Und hier drauf. Und da drauf. Und mit der Zeit kommt man hier in einen guten Flow rein.
Toll was on the rocket. Little Orpheus was on the rocket. And wherever they were headed, I must head there too, to thwart his plans, recover my drill, and save the world!
Er hängt an der Rakete. Oh ne, fällt runter.
Will our enthusiastic yet disorientated hero be burnt to a cinder by the rocket's engines? Will he be smashed into the rock that surely must be beyond the Lemurian skies? Does Nikolai Petrovich Kamenyan really need any more medals? What was the strange clock, and what could it all mean? All of these questions and more will be answered, if you're extremely lucky, in the next exciting episode of Little Orpheus!
Ja, Little Orpheus. So, diese Episode auch wieder fertig. Nächste Episode spielen, die da heißt... Ja, das kennen wir ja auch schon. Metagalacticus Interiorus. Gucken, wo wir hingefallen sind gleich. Also 1, 2, 3 Videos noch. Dann haben wir das Spiel durch. Also, liebe Freunde, macht's gut. Ich bin raus. Ich werde jetzt erstmal meine Hähnchenpfanne essen, die ich mir beim Beginn der letzten Folge in den Ofen geschmissen habe. Die dürfte jetzt gleich fertig sein. Die werde ich mir jetzt reinziehen. Macht's gut, liebe Freunde. Ich bin raus. Tschö.